Well, I didn't expect to make a part 3 for this series, but here we are. It's just that things keep happening in my school. Things are just so eventful. What I also didn't expect is that I'm going to be talking about two people this time. I mean, the first person I'm going to talk about is not going to, there's not nothing much happened, but like, yes, he was still bad enough to be on this video. So the third person in this series I'm going to talk about is Mr. Short, because he is very short, and pretty much almost everybody that has made my high school experience terrible, were all shorter than me. It's always the short people who are the biggest jerks in the entire school. Or maybe it's just because I'm very tall. So this takes place at gym class 2 years ago this time, not the one I had last semester, but this was 2 years ago. This is the only person that I'm talking about that happened not in this school year, but 2 years ago. So the reason why this is short is because I don't really remember that much from it, so that's why I'm going to also be talking about another person in this video. I don't remember much, but what I do remember is that Mr. Short was very annoying in gym class, just like Mr. Loud last semester. But only my friend was actually in my gym class from 2 years ago, and he was not very nice to my friend. So this one day we were getting dismissed from school, and me and my friend had literally had our lockers right next to each other, and we were just packing our bags. Me and him were right beside each other, and all of a sudden Mr. Short just shoved my friend in the locker. Right after Mr. Short shoved my friend into his locker, I got up and shoved Mr. Short into his locker. And then right after I did it, he just didn't do anything. He was like, "Oh, what'd you do that for?" Like all this joking crap. And me, I didn't even say anything. I just walked right out the door. I remember this was 2 years ago, so me and Mr. Short, we don't really care about each other anymore. We just moved on, and I'm not really mad at him anymore. But anyway, back to the story. Right at like the next day, I literally went up to the vice principal and like, you can say snitched on him. Like back then, I was like more of a snitch than I am right now. But that was the very moment why I stopped snitching. I mean, I was kind of a snitch back then. But really, this is the point that I'm telling you guys why I stopped snitching. Because I realize I'm just wasting my time. It doesn't really solve anything. The teachers have all these quote-unquote anti-bullying presentations, but in reality, they don't do enough to actually help you when the bullying actually happens. So to tell you the truth, I have not told on any student ever since that very moment. Literally ever since that story. So I just decided to rely more on myself, stand up for myself, stand up for my friends. Because honestly, I don't really need the teachers anymore. I can just stand up for myself and I'll be alright. But most of the time I just ignore people because that's really the best thing to do. I don't want to get myself in any trouble. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. So on to the next one. I'm going to be talking about Mr. Late. I should have named him Mr. Excuses because he also sends a lot of stupidity out with his lame excuses, but I'm going to call him Mr. Late because that fits more right for him. So this is a new semester now, just like what I said previously, or the video before, that the semester was over, but this is a new semester. And this is in our science class, environmental science, and me and Shed Story and my friend are also in that class as well. So some of my friends were in my science class, but Mr. Late was also in that class as well. The first day of semester 2, nothing really happened, so I'm not going to get into much detail in there. But the next day, Mr. Late came in, obviously late, and his excuse for that was so stupid. His excuse was, "I got lost." That's baloney. He was able to come into science class perfectly fine, on time, but the next day he got lost. I doubt that's because he's new, because in the first semester, he was also in my class. So it makes zero sense why he would so-called get lost. He also has his friend. I'm not really going to be talking much about him, but I'll just call him Ron. He's pretty much just like Mr. Late. He's always late, but he's pretty much like one of those ignorant students. He doesn't give a crap about schoolwork. He's pretty much laughing every time the teacher gives the lectures. I really hate those type of students. And another thing to mention is that when he goes out to the washroom, he stays out for such a long time. The teacher gives lectures, he's always smiling. The teacher is getting suspicious on what is maybe going on, but for me, I think he's just vaping in the washrooms. Pretty much, I can say pretty much half of the students in my school actually do vape. The teacher or my principal say like a small percentage of them actually do, but for me, I think it's much higher. I see so many students vape. This is why I don't go into the boys' washroom. I just go into the private washrooms or the handicap washrooms, just to avoid these people. Well, anyway, I'm done talking about Ron. Now I'm gonna get into Mr. Late. So this actually happened this week at the time this video was edited and recorded, on the Valentine's week. So this happened on Monday or Tuesday. I forget which day it actually was. I have a bad memory on dates, but it was the Valentine's Day week, and pretty much my school was doing this tradition called the heart game. So basically the heart game lasts 2 days. One day the girls have the hearts, and the other day the boys have the hearts. So the first day the girls have the hearts. They are pretty much wearing a necklace with the heart on the end made of paper. And the boys had to go up to them and like talk to them. And if the girl talks back, then the girl has to give them their heart. And which gender gets the most hearts wins a dress down day. And unfortunately, the girls actually got the dress down day, just like they do every single year. And vice versa. If the girls had to try to talk to the boys, and if the boys talk back, then the boys had to give them their heart. And me, I actually put effort into this game. I literally rejected so many girls that day, it was actually fun to do. I am not even joking, I had so much fun rejecting girls. But back to the point, when I was actually putting effort into this game, I was kind of one of the few boys left in the school that actually still has the paper heart around their necks. And I was just casually walking down the hall with my friend. And until suddenly, Mr. Late just came out of nowhere and like took my heart, said, "Can I see that?" And then like he just ripped it right off my neck. And like when he was holding the heart and I went to go give it, like to go get it back from his hand, I just kept trying to take it from his hand. He just kept like moving away until I just grabbed his wrist and just like ripped it right off. Yeah, and Mr. Loud was just another guy. So I see why the guys always lose the heart game, because the guys themselves also do not put enough effort into this game, unlike me. But really, who cares? It's just a dress down day. Wearing a uniform is not going to kill me. But since Mr. Late only started to become a jerk to us, there's nothing much to talk about. He's still relatively new. But if it's anyone who was probably the worst to us, he's going to be part 4. And I'm pretty sure most of my friends probably forgotten about him. But I'm going to remind them. I don't mean to bring back bad memories if my friends aren't watching this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Yeah, other than Mr. Late being a class slacker and being a jerk to me, there's nothing much to talk to him about right now, but in the future probably. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed listening to this story, and see you in part 4.